Trinity College. Iveagh Garden, Iveagh or Iveagh, I don't know how to pronounce this one.
장미 가든이네. 장미 가든이야.
Oh yeah. 여기도 와야 되겠구나. Go ahead. 이쁘지 스테이, 어? 아직도 마음에 안 들어?
At vi sejler under en række meget lave broer her til morgen. Jeg vil bede alle om at blive siddende ned, når vi sejler under en bro. Det gælder både børn og voksne. Vi må ikke røre ved broerne. Og jeg beder alle om at holde arme og ben inden for båden, når vi sejler under en bro. Vi har redningsveste under sæderne, og det er en ikke-ryger-tur. Nu skal jeg lige høre, om der i grunden er nogen, der gerne vil have tur. Alban consists of 5 man-made islands, so artificial islands that were constructed from 1685 and onward. The idea was to get the Danish fleet at the time out of the center of the town because of the big fire hazard. Having a big fleet in the center of the town, we're going to see later on where that was. Holmen thus became the biggest workplace in Denmark and stayed that for centuries. In 1810, the frigate here was the Danish flagship in the Cold War, and today it's also a museum. Behind the flagship we see the Danish flag. The Danish flag from a time for the captains on the fleet to either hoist or lower the Danish flag on the ships in the harbor. Today it's been decided only to fire the cannon at no earlier than 8 in the morning during the summer, not to wake up everybody too early, especially with the royal family first here. The island out here is called Räfthaleön, meaning the island of the tail of the fox. A funny name even for a Dane. The grey building that we see here was formerly the shipyard of Burmeister and Wayne, the biggest shipyard in the world in its time in the 60s and the 70s, and surely the biggest workplace here in Denmark at the time. See here on your right would be used for jumping. So if you like a thrill, you will jump here. On your right see the little red buildings here. The like all under 3 crowns for the people to enjoy.
사람들 얼마나 많이 들어와?
The poor little mermaid, she lost her head twice. She even had an arm cut off. They poured paint all over her. Fortunately, they were able to restore her, and she's still with us today. If you like to see her from the front, there's a lovely promenade out here. We call it ski round down the slope round the year. Even if you didn't bring your ski, you can rent them on the spot. There is even an after-ski cafe on top that's very popular apparently. And if you're into climbing, we have the tallest climbing wall on the outside of the building here. So the tallest climbing wall in Europe. With firstly here the West Indies, the procession in the West Indies, in Greenland, and thirdly the Golden Coast in Africa. The residence was built as 4 individual mansions built for 4 noble families here in Copenhagen in the 1750s. It was only in 1794 when the royal palace was burned and the royal family needed a place to stay. They moved out here and eventually they never moved back. And the 4 mansions were renamed the Palace of Amalienborg. Use that here for private use. Planning Christianstown, the king wanted to attract wealthy Dutch merchants to Copenhagen. And he built Christianstown in the image of Amsterdam. The Dutch merchants never came to Copenhagen, and it was difficult for the king even to get the Danes to move here. In fact, he gave tax reductions to try and attract people here. Today, Christianstown is rather popular though, and many people live out here. And in fact, in order not to disturb them,
여기 오면 되지 이쪽으로.
so, please stay seated, thank you.
야, 여기는 봐, 배가 많다 여기. 지나갔나 보지. Copenhagen. This is very expensive one. I'm not. You're sleeping.
Mind your head, everybody.
지현아, 고개 숙이라.
네, 거기 숙이라. 거기 숙이라.
아영아 고개 숙여.
괜찮아, 충분해.
아.
Oh yeah, we survive.
Thank you for your attention. We're going to see the old library building behind coming up now, and as well as the library garden. That we see behind the library garden, the library now. The building next to the library, the War Museum, was formerly and here on your right we see his brewery, the King's Brewery of 1618, where everybody employed by the King would come for their 10 litres of beer every single day.
Oh.
At a time where we couldn't drink the water in Copenhagen, the only way was to make beer of it. Even children.
천천히 그냥 수영하는 거 아니면 벗고 그냥 그런 놀이. 햇빛이 귀한 나라라 가지고 해만 뜨면 그냥 소주 먹고 노는 거야.
Nice day to swimming, children.
아영아 여기 벼룩시장이야. 여기 벼룩시장이야 지금. 다 뭐 갖고 나와서 팔고 있잖아.
사람들이 처음부터 바닷가 먹어.
On your right here we see facades, different facades from the beginning of the 20th century. we didn't really have Art Deco, Art Nouveau in Denmark, but we see a little bit of the style here. Whereas the back of the building that we shall see now, much less interesting out of the view of the king. We're going to see the back of the building here. Looks more like a prison. Otherwise you have the more traditional warehouse like this one that's now the house of going back into Nyhavn, where Hans Christian Andersen lived for 20 years. He wrote more than 150 fairy tales that still read around the world to this very day. We're looking to find a spot for the book.
Frederik Church.
찍어줘.
Oh, I don't know, really. I mean,
여기 들어오는 입구다.
Men det går väl förbi någonting här på vägen till bilen.
털어줘야 스타트. Nobel Prize Museum.
아 감독했어.
What's your name?
I forgot. Something Mr. Meinster. I don't.
응? 봐봐.
Something with the M.
Hey.
나 보여?
Very good.
감자를 나눠 먹어보자. 여기 감자가 어떤지.
Uppsala.